Okay, we're going to jump back into things by adding the easy ones first. I'm going to go up to the top and click New. We're going to add the privacy policy quickly. Switch to our files, open up the privacy policy text, switch back, hit the HTML button, paste our code in, and click Update. We're going to go back up to the top, click Save and New, and we're going to do the same thing for the terms of use. Go down to the editor, click the HTML button, paste in our code, click Update, go Save and New. Just going to close this main page folder. I'm going to go into the client area because we've got two articles that are going in there as well. One is the client area text that a person sees when they first log in, and then there's that price list. I'm going to open up the client area text, copy it, give this a title, client area. We're also going to change the category here. We've left the previous two at the default of content. This one we're going to switch to clients. We're also going to change the access from public to registered because this is one of those articles that we don't want people to see unless they have an account and are able to log in. Then we can go down to our editor and click the HTML button, paste in our copy, click Update, click Save and New. Switch back to our files. We'll open up the price list, copy the contents, switch back, give it a title. Again, we're going to switch the category from content to clients. Again, we're going to switch the access from public to registered. Then we can go on down to the editor and click the HTML button, paste in our code. Now the first part of the code looks a little familiar because it's in the paragraph tag and it's a little paragraph of text. The second piece is what's called an unordered list. It starts with an opening UL tag, goes to an ending UL tag. In between those tags, we've got a series of what are called list items that use the opening and closing LI tag. We've also applied the class of zebra. The reason we've done this is so when the list is generated on the front page, the colors will alternate from white to gray as it goes down the list. We'll not only be using it for this article here, but we'll also be using this for our sidebar. I'm going to click Update. So we can see what the generic unordered list looks like, but because we applied that class zebra to it, it's going to display like this on the front end. Again, I'm going to go up and click Save and New, switch back to my content files. We can close up the client area folder now that we're done with that. I'm going to move on to the services. Now you'll notice we've got two here. We've got services and the sidebar. Since we're just doing articles right now, I'm going to pop open services. Copy, switch back, give it a title. This one I can leave in the content category and leave access as public. Go down to the editor, click the HTML button, paste in our code. Now most of this we've seen before, it's just organized a little differently than we've done before. Right at the top we've got the H2 tag, which we've seen before with the featured in. We've also got another H2 tag further down that's the delivery and logistics portion of this page. Underneath that first heading we've got two paragraphs. In the first paragraph, we've got that image in there, and we've got a style of float left, so it's on the left of the text. And in the link, you'll notice that the anchor tag has a class of button-primary. What this does is it turns it from a plain text link into an actual button. Underneath that other paragraph, I've also got an info box that's just wrapped in a div tag. This constitutes the full service provider section. We separate the two with a horizontal rule tag, and then put in the second paragraph image and button. I'm going to click Update. You can see the content in the editor, and I'm going to choose Save and New. Now we're going to put in the common terms. If we look at the common term page, it looks like we've got one big long article with three separate sections. In reality, this is three separate articles. I'm going to switch back here. I'm going to go to our content files, close up services, open up the common terms. The first one we've got is planning stages. Let's open that up. I'm going to select and copy it, switch back, give it the title, planning stages. Now the category we're going to switch from content to common terms. Go down to the editor and click the HTML button and paste our code in. This is another new piece of code that we haven't seen before. This is called a definition list. A definition list is wrapped in a DL tag to start and finish, and similar to the unordered list we created before, it's also got a series of options inside. Because this is a definition list, we've got two separate tags in here. We've got the DT, or the definition term, and we've got the DD, the definition description. I'm going to click Update. We can see in the editor that we now have three separate terms with three separate descriptions. You may have also noticed the class equals separator in there applied to the DL tag. This is what's going to give it this fancy formatting on this page. Once I'm done, I'm going to click Save and New. I'm going to go back, grab the building stages, copy, switch back, give it a title, switch the category to common terms, go to the editor and click the HTML button, paste in the source code, which is almost identical to the last one with the definition list. This one has 5 terms, but I've also added an info box on here wrapped in a div tag. Going to click Update. Go and click Save and New. Switch back to our files, grab the completion stages, copy, switch back, give it a title, switch the category from content to common terms, go to the editor and click the HTML button, paste in the code, which again is just a simple definition list, click update, and I'm going to click save and new. Now we're going to have a little bit more fun. We're going to create the content for the Our Work pages. I'm going to start by giving it a title. I'm going to switch the category to Our Work. We're going to go down to the editor window. We're now going to use some of the sample images that came with Joomla to build our samples. If we take a quick look in our media manager, we'll see a folder called sample data. If we go into that folder, we see a folder called parks. Inside the parks folder, we want to go into the landscape folder. Inside the landscape folder, there are 8 different images. 4 of them are thumbnails, and 4 of them are full-size images. The first image that we're going to put in is this one right here. We can see that there's 2 of them, one here and one here. We can tell that they're different sizes because the file name starts with 120 pixels for the thumbnail and 800 pixels for the other one. What we need now is the path to these images to put into the editor. To grab this easily, I'm going to click on the image, which is going to pop up in a little modal window. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to choose Copy Image Location. And then I'm going to switch back to my editor and click on the Image button. When the Insert Edit Image window pops open, we're going to paste in our URL, but we're then going to go back to the beginning of the field and remove some of this information. I'm going to erase all the way up to images because we know that image is stored in the images folder, in the sample data folder, in parks and landscape. So we're just going to tell it to start looking there. I'm going to hit tab and go into image description field. I'm going to do what we did before with our images and give it a border of 0, and then I'm going to insert. Now in our editor window, we see that thumbnail of that image. Before we add our full-size image in here, I'm going to click this little Read More button. You'll see it puts a little red line across the editor. What this is essentially doing is separating this article into 2 parts, the initial intro text and then the full article. This is how we generate that View Larger link on the Our Work page. Now we can add in our full-size image. I'm going to switch back to my media manager. I'm going to click on the larger version of that image. As we can see, much larger. Again, I'm going to copy the image location, switch back to my editor, click the Insert Edit Image button, paste that URL in, go back to the beginning and erase up until images, add in an image description, border of 0, and insert. Now we can see we've got the thumbnail image, that red line, and the full-size image. If we take a look at the Our Work page for a moment, when we click this View Larger link, it only shows us the larger image and not that thumbnail. What we've done here is we've told it to hide the intro text. Back in our article manager, on the right-hand side, if we reveal the article options again, we're going to go down to the Show Intro Text and change it from Use Global to Hide. The other thing we're going to do is go down to the bottom here where it says Read More Text, and we're going to change it to View Larger. Once we're done, we're going to click Save and New. We're going to go on and do this to our second sample. Change our category to Our Work, go down to the editor again, switch back to our media manager to grab that URL, switch back, click the Insert Edit Image button, paste in the URL, remove the intro portion, give it a description, remove the border, insert. We're going to click that Read More tag, switch back to get the URL for the larger version of that image, switch back to the editor, click the Insert Edit Image button, paste in the URL, remove the intro portion, give it a description, remove any borders, click on Insert. We're going to make sure we can see those article options so we can hide the intro text and change the Read More text to View Larger. We're going to click Save and New. Do it again for our third sample. Again, switch category to Our Work, go down to the editor, switch to our media manager, grab that URL for the thumbnail, switch back, click the Insert Edit Image button, paste in the URL, remove out the intro portion of the text, up to images, give it a title, give it a description, remove the border, click Insert, click that Read More button, switch back to grab the URL, Insert Edit Image button, paste in the URL, remove up to images, give it a description, remove the borders, insert, make sure we've hidden the intro text and changed the Read More text, save and new, and we'll put in our last sample, again into the Our Work category. We'll grab the URL for that thumbnail, switch back to the Edit Insert Image window, paste in the URL, and remove up to images, give it a description, remove the border, insert, give it a Read More, grab the URL for the large image, switch back, Insert Edit Image button, paste in the URL, remove up to images, give it another description here, border 0. We've inserted our final image, hide that intro text, give it the new Read More text, and we're done. Gonna go up and we're gonna click Save and Close this time. Now that we've got our content in place, we can start building our menu system and linking to the content. We're going to go up to Menus and down to the Menu Manager, or from the Control Panel, click on Menu Manager. Now in the Menu Manager, we can see that there's already a main menu in here. We're going to go ahead up to the top here and click on New. We're going to give our first menu the Footer Menu title, and we're going to give the menu type name Footer-Menu. Going to go Save and New. We're going to create our Client Menu. Menu type Client-Menu. I'm going to do Save and Close. Now that we've added these two additional menus, we can start adding menu items to them. Let's start with the footer menu by clicking on the name. As you can see, there are no menu items currently in here. For the footer menu, we only have two options, the privacy policy and the terms of use. These menu items are going to be quite easy. First, we're going to click New. The first thing that we have to do is select a menu item type. So we're going to click Select. A modal window pops up with many different options in here. What we're going to do is we're going to link this button directly to one of those articles that we created earlier. So under the Articles, we're going to click on Single Article. We're going to give it a quick name, Privacy Policy. Then we're going to go over onto the right here, and under Required Settings, we're going to click on Select and Change to select an article. Going to go into the list and select Privacy Policy. And I'm going to click Save and New. Again, I'm going to select the menu item type. As with the privacy policy, the terms of use is going to be a single article. Go to the menu title, Terms of Use. Going to go and select the article. Once the menu pops up, select Terms of Use, and click Save and Close. As you can see, we now have the two menu items, Privacy Policy and Terms of Use, within the footer menu. Let's move on to the Client menu and add the items there. Now we can do that one of two ways. We can go to this drop-down menu here that lists all the menus that are currently in the site, or we can simply go up here and click Menus. Once we're under Menus, we can click on Client Menu. As you can see again, there are no options here. Once again, the Client menu only has two options, both of which will be linked to an article. So we'll go up to the top, click New, select the menu item type, which is a single article. Title is going to be Client Area. The title is going to be Client Home. And the article is going to be Client Area. I'm then going to go choose Save and New. Again, we're going to select that it's a single article we're linking to. Title of this one is going to be Price List. I'm going to click Select, go down the list from Find Price List. I'm going to go up and choose Save and Close. So we can see we've got the Client menu with two options. We've got the Footer menu with two options. And we've got that main menu with the single Home option. Let's go ahead and add our next menu option. Go up to the top and click New. Click on Select for the menu item type. Again, this is going to be a single article, a title of Services. Going to click Select, go in and find the Services article, click on it. Going to go up and choose Save and New. Now this is going to be the link to our work, which we're going to do a little bit differently. Going to click on Select. Now up until this point, we've only used single articles. This time, I'm going to select Category Blog. Going to give it a title of Our Work. And on the right-hand side, it says Choose a Category. Now, if you remember, we put all our photos into the Our Work category. Next, we're going to reveal the category options. Now, if you remember back to when we created the categories, we gave the Our Work category a description. So under these category options, we're not only going to select to show the title, but we're also going to choose to show the description. We're going to leave the rest at Use Global. Now we're going to reveal the blog layout options. Now we know we've only got 4 articles in the Our Work category. Under the blog layout options, we're going to choose that we don't want any leading articles. We're going to choose to select 4 intro articles, and I'm going to make it display in 2 columns. I'm going to set the number of links to 0, and the last thing that we're going to select here is the article order. We're going to select oldest first. Now the reason that we're going to do this is if you remember when we added the content, we did it in order from sample 1 all the way up to sample 4. That would mean the oldest would be sample 1, and we want it to go in order. That's all we need to do to set up our work. Let's click Save and New. Next up, we're going to do the common terms. Again, we're going to go under and select Category Blog. Again, if you remember when we were putting in our content, we've actually got 3 articles that are in this category. I'm going to give it a name of Common Terms, and I'm going to go over and select the category of Common Terms. Again, we're going to go under the category options. For the category title, I'm actually going to choose Hide. If we jump back to the Common Terms page quickly, you'll see that there's not actually a title in here. We've just got those 3 titles for the actual articles. I'm going to leave the rest at Use Global. We never actually set a category description, so it doesn't matter if we choose Hide or Show. Going to go and click under blog layout options. Now for this menu item, we're actually going to choose that we want 3 leading articles and 0 intro articles with 1 column and 0 links. Again, we're going to go down to the article order and we're going to choose oldest first. Now this time I'm going to go up and choose save and close. Now the reason I chose save and close, if we look back at the completed website here, we'll notice that there are 2 menu items left that we have to add, the newsfeed and the contact us. Now in order to do that, we need to do a little bit more setup. First thing that we're going to do is do the news feeds. So we're going to go under components, go down to news feeds. As you can see, there are no news feeds. If we click on categories, there's the default uncategorized category. That's fine. I'm just going to leave the name as is for this demo. It doesn't really matter unless you're going to have multiple news feeds that you want to sort into different categories. I'm going to switch back to under news feeds. I'm going to go up to the top and I'm going to click new. When adding a new news feed, we're going to need a title, which I'm just going to call news feed, and we need a link to an actual feed. In this demo, I've used the Joomla security news feed. So I've obtained the URL, I've visited the URL to ensure it's a valid feed. I'm going to switch back. I'm going to paste that URL into the link field. I'm going to make sure my category is selected, which is uncategorized, and I'm going to click Save and Close. Now that my newsfeed is created, I'm going to go back up to Components, and I'm going to go to Contacts. Again, under Contacts, you see that there's nothing here. Again, if we click on Categories, there's the default uncategorized category. I'm going to switch back to Contacts, go up to the top, and click New. I'm going to give it a name of Contact Us. I'm going to leave the category as uncategorized, and I'm going to leave the text area blank. I'm going to go over onto the right-hand side and click on Contact Details. Under the Contact Details is where you can put the contact information. I'm not going to give this contact an image or a position name. I'm going to put in my email address. I'm going to put in my address, my city name, my province or state, my postal code, my country, my phone number, my mobile number, and my fax number. I'm going to leave the rest of my details blank. It's really up to you how much information you're going to put on this contact form. When you're done, if you click on Display Options, you can also select what is being displayed on that particular content. We're just going to leave it all as Use Global. I'm going to go up to the top and choose Save and Close. Now that we've created our newsfeed and our contact, go back up to the menus, go down to Main Menu, and we can go ahead and add those 2 menu items. Go up to the top and click New. For the menu item type, I'm going to click Select. Now instead of choosing articles for this one, I'm going to choose News Feeds, Single News Feed, as I only have 1 news feed to select. I'm going to give it the menu title of News Feed. I'm going to go on and click Select Feed. I can see that there's only the 1 news feed that I've created, so I'm going to select it. I'm going to go up and choose Save and New so I can add Contact Us. I'm going to click Select for menu item type, and right up in the top left, we're going to choose Contacts and Single Contact. I'm going to give it a title of Contact Us, and on the right hand side I'm going to select a contact, and again the only one in there is Contact Us, so I'm going to select it. I'm going to click Save and Close. That's it, we've created all our menu items. Let's go back to the main page and refresh. If we click through a couple of the menu items, we can see, excellent, our content is being displayed as it should. But we'll also notice that 1, we're missing the footer menu, and 2, we're missing the modules on the right hand side. You'll also notice when we switch back to the home page that right under the main graphic we've got this big text that says Home. Now we don't need that there and most people don't want it. So let's switch back to the admin page, make sure we're on the menu manager for the main menu, and we're going to click on Home. Now under Home on the right hand side we're going to go down and click Page Display Options. You'll notice here that Show Page Heading is set to Yes. We're just going to switch that to No and go click Save and Close. Back to the main page and a quick refresh shows that it's disappeared. Let's move on and finish placing our modules. We're going to go up to Extensions and down to Module Manager. The first module that we're going to deal with is the Login Form. I'm going to change the name from Login Form to Client Login. I'm going to make sure Show Title is set to Show, and we're going to change the position from Position 7 to Sidebar B. Down at the bottom, we're going to switch module assignment from On All Pages to No Pages, and then we're going to switch it from No Pages to Only on the Pages Selected. We don't want the login form to show up on any of the client menu item pages or the footer menu item pages, but we do want it to show up on the main menu under Home and Contact Us. Once we've assigned the module, we're going to go onto the right hand side. Under Basic Options, we're going to choose Client Home for the login redirection page. This makes sure that when somebody logs in, that instead of staying on the main page, they're redirected to that welcome page. We're also going to go down and choose Advanced Options. Under the module class suffix, we're going to put icon dash login. We're going to go up and choose Save and Close. Switch back to the main page and click Refresh. We can see now that the client login is displayed on the main page. The module class suffix that I added put this little lock icon on here as well. You'll also notice on here that there's a create an account link at the bottom of the client login. We don't want anybody to be able to create an account on this website, so we're just going to go back to the admin side of things here. We're going to go under Users and go to User Manager. When loaded, we're going to go to the global options in the top right and click, and we're going to switch Allow User Registration from Yes to No, and click Save and Close. Switch back to that main page, refresh, and that link's now gone. If we go and click on Contact Us, we can see that the login is there as well, but if we click on the other menu items, it's not being displayed. But then again, neither is our sidebar module. Let's go back to Administration, go under Extensions again into Module Manager, and we're going to create ourselves a new module. We're going to create a custom HTML. We're going to give it a title of Sidebar. We're going to make sure Show Title is set to Show. We're going to go set the position again to sidebar B, and we're going to go down to the editor here. We're going to go over to our corporate website files. We're going to close up these folders that we're done using here. And if we click under Services, we'll see the sidebar file. I'm going to open that up, copy the code, switch back to my web browser and click the HTML button. I'm going to paste my code in. As you can see, we've got a paragraph tag at the top with a sentence in it. And then again, we're using that unordered list with the class of zebra to make the colors alternate. I'm going to click Update. We're going to go down to the bottom, and for menu assignment, we're going to again switch from On All Pages to No Pages, and then we're going to switch to Only on the Pages Selected. This module we want to show on the Services page, the Our Work page, and on the Common Terms page. I'm going to go up to the top, and I'm going to choose Save and Close. Now before we go and create the menus for the footer and the client login page, we also have that corporate sales module on the client area. So we're going to go to New, we're going to create another custom HTML, give it a title of Corporate Sales, make sure the title is set to Show, go to Sidebar Position and select Sidebar B, go down to the editor again, and this one I'm going to manually type in the content. This just shows you the basic functionality of this editor window as we're manually typing stuff in. Now you'll notice when I hit return there that it put an additional space in there. I'm going to put in the John Doe name. I'm going to hit enter again. I'm going to put in his title, but as I start typing you notice that there's a big space in there. I'm just going to go and delete this, go back up to John Doe, and instead of hitting return, I'm going to hold down the shift key and hit return. So instead of doing a full paragraph break, I've just done what's known as a soft return. You may need to do this from time to time to ensure your text is formatted properly. Put in his title, his phone number, and his email address. I'm going to put in the second person in here, Jane Doe. Again, do the shift return, give her phone number and email address. I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight Jane's name. I'm going to click bold. I'm going to highlight John's name, and I'm going to click bold. Once I've got my text in there, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. I'm going to change module assignment from On All Pages to No Pages, and then to Only on the Pages Selected. This module isn't going to show up anywhere on the main or footer menu, so I'm going to switch over to Client Menu. And since I want this contact information to show up on both these pages, I'm going to select both Client Home and Price List. Then I'll go up and choose Save and Close. Now that I've created and placed that final sidebar, let's finish things off and add those two menu modules. I'm going to go and click New. I'm going to select Menu from the module type, give it a title of Footer Menu. I don't want the title to show, so I'm going to select Hide. I'm going to go under Position, and I'm going to select Footer. For menu assignment, I'm going to leave it set to On All Pages. And then over on the right hand side under Basic Options, I'm going to select Footer Menu. I'm then going to choose Save and New. I'm going to create the Client Menu. Again, I'm going to select to hide the title. I'm going to go under Position. I'm going to select Sidebar B because it shows up on the right hand side in the client area. I'm going to select from On All Pages to No Pages, and then Only on the Pages Selected again. And I'm going to select Client Home and Price List under the client menu. On the right hand side under Basic Options, I'm going to ensure that client menu is already selected, and I'm going to choose Save and Close. We've pretty much completed our website. Let's switch back to the main page and check it out. Click on Services, we can see that the sidebar is showing up now. Same with under Our Work and Common Terms. Just going to switch back to Home now and go down to the bottom here, and I can see that our new menu is showing up, but the copyright information is showing up above this. This is a common issue that you might run into. All you need to do is adjust the positioning. So we're going to go back to the administrator page under the module manager, and I'm going to notice that the footer copyright and the footer menu here both have an ordering of 0, meaning that they're going to show up at the top. Now as we can see here, footer copyright is above the footer menu, so it's going to be displayed that way. I'm just going to go in and select footer copyright. Once it loads under ordering, I'm going to go and click the drop-down menu and select to footer menu. When looking at the ordering drop-down menu, concentrate on the numbers, not on what follows. You want to remember what position that you're putting stuff in. I'm going to go choose Save and Close. If we go back to that main page and choose Refresh, we can see that the menu now shows above the copyright notice. If you have problems with any other items showing up above or below where they should, check the ordering on it. That's it. We've now completed our corporate website. Keep in mind that we've only learned the really basics of Joomla, and if you get more into it, you can really extend this website to include some really cool features. Head on over to extensions.joomla.org and see what kind of things that you can possibly add to your new website. Thanks for checking out inanhour.com.